470. Litteral. Jeff Jones comes out of the gate, swinging to the side of that power stop brakes. GT Radial 350Z of Ryan Litteral, and Jeff Jones tucking in. He is possessed, man. He is absolutely going for it. Litteral, a lot more fluid than his first run, allowing Jeff Jones to be confident as he drops and drops. Here we go. Jeff Jones out front. There are the 3, 2, 1, initiate, boom. There you go, Jeff Jones. Looks like he dips that back right just a little bit into the dirt. Now coming to that one and only front clip, tightens it up. Ryan Litteral just barely tapping it. You can see that separation there between Jones and Litteral. Now how are they gonna fare in that final outside zone? Look at Litteral lunging forward. Jeff Jones, a lot more fluid on the front end of that battle.
Well, not an easy one right
out of the gate. Oil Purple top 16, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Taguchi initiates aggressively into that first outer zone. You see the attitude of the vehicle, that front left tire actually rip up into the sky. Jeff Jones dives in on the inside. Taguchi on that first and only inside clip, now into outside zone 3, feeling all of it. Jeff Jones falling back just a little bit. Now let's see how they handle that last outside zone. Taguchi gets all the way out to the edge of the course, the striped yellow section. Jeff Jones comes up just a bit short. Ball 4, take a walk. We'll see. Shots fired across the nose. Jeff Jones going for the gusto there in that first outside zone, transitioning into zone 2. Now coming into that front clip, Jeff takes a wide swing but tightens it back up. Kazuya Taguchi looks like he just went straight for it, and that is going to allow Jeff Jones to pull away and separate. Now Jeff Jones goes into that outside zone. Oh, and Taguchi comes to a halt. Now, Ryan, I did see Jeff go and exceed that outside zone, so it looks like we do have a verdict. Slide him left for Taguchi, right for Jones. Oh, look at this. Chris Ewell says Taguchi. Ryan Lantain says Taguchi. Taguchi gets the win. Jeff Jones initiates, flicks it in that first outside zone. Oh, Dean Kearney taking a way shallow line. Looks like he makes a large correction there. Let's see if he can salvage the chase run here by Dean Kearney. Takes out that front clip and through that third outside zone, approaching the final outside zone. A big flick by Dean Kearney.
Two major observations there.
Yeah.
It was a nasty flick by Dean Kearney on initiation that looked like it caused some trouble.
And Kearney whips it out of that start chicane. Big, there you go, Ryan. That's what you saw in there. He hangs it out. Into that second outside zone. Jeff Jones back quite a bit. Dean Kearney tips it with that front right headlight. Now transition in the outside zone. The last one. You see him flick it in there, Ryan. It's more of a violent flick as opposed to a JTP initiates into the outside zone. Little dirt bead thrown up there into the second outer zone. Oh, looks like Jeff Jones gets a little love tap there from JTP's back bumper into that third outer zone. JTP continues on, not affected by that, and Justin Pawlak whips it in there and stands on it to absolutely mash into that fourth outer zone. Ryan, again, contact made there on the wall. It was well executed. Here we go. Jeff Jones getting the clean air. Fills that first outside zone. Let's see how they transition into the second. And there it is. That's what I'm talking about, that flick, that JTP. I mean, he's one of the best at it. And to maintain that angle is always great. Look at Jeff pulling away from JTP, way offline. Jeff Jones, unfortunately. But man, Justin Pawlak, the way he does that flick and holds on to it is always. Scores are in. Slide him left for JTP, right for Jones. Chris, there it is.
There's that question mark with Jeff Jones, right? Whether or not he's going to be able to make his competition timeout. As we said prior to coming into the show, he actually wrecked, and he had to call his competition timeout. Now, he did have a bye in that round, right? And it was interesting. We asked all three of the drivers that had byes if they wanted to run their byes in the top 32. They said yes, and knowing that if they did that, they would have to show up to the line for the top 32. And we're seeing a consequence of agreeing to do that here, where they are scurrying to
look at all the teams there. Sorry to cut you off there, Ryan. Chase position. Dan Burkett initiating. Eye on the bank, Burkett. Oh, a large correction there from Dan Burkett. That is going to hurt him. Jeff Jones continues on pace. Quick little bobble there from Jeff Jones now into that third outside zone. And here comes Burkett. And looks like Jeff Jones continues on as Burkett slams into the side of him. Oh boy. All right, Ryan, this is already jumping into some precarious situations here and scenarios. Super out front, Dan Burkett initiates into the bank. initiates but drops down low. And now, really good angle from Dan Burkett, Jeff Jones falls out of drift a little bit. And man, a large plume of smoke, very thick. It's always great to see the smoke because that means we got a dry track. This water seeping still. Oh, buddy! And Burkett loops it. And looks like saved the vehicle, but unfortunately for Burkett, that's going to be 2 incomplete runs for him. And Jeff Jones should be getting the win here, Ron. Into the bank, good angle from LZ. Jeff Jones taking some angle out of it. LZ definitely could be higher on the bank as he drops in, taking that very shallow line. Gets out that second outer zone, coming into the third. A wide swing by LZ. He is hooked and coming as it allows Jeff Jones to gain some proximity there because he took that wide swing. Oh, a small correction there. Jeff Jones will lead. LZ give a chase. Nice flick initiation there by Jeff Jones. Oh, Jeff working it to the top. Adam LZ, middle of the bank. Now that's the line you want to take, Jeff. Proper execution. And LZ not even getting out to that second outer zone and really strings up on zone number 3. Now coming into that final outside zone, Jeff dips it in. Really good execution there by Jones. I want to look at this again as Jeff put the car in the right places, higher on the bank. See how Justin comes out swinging. Jeff Jones in the chase position. JTP. There's Justin Pawlak showing up in grand fashion. Jones a little bit lower on the bank as Justin slides it into that second outside zone through the power rally. Quick little lift. There is a decel area there. Jones, great proximity there. Right to the side of JTP and crossing the finish line, Ryan.
Yeah, glad we got a clean start there. Justin Pawlak gets off.
Yeah, so this would be a great victory for him, but Justin Pawlak's going to try to put a stop to that as Jones initiates. Justin Pawlak diving a little bit low down there. Definitely got proximity, but you can see him exceeding the front end of Jones. And now in that second outside zone, into the third, Pawlak sweating Jones around that front clip and into that final outer zone goes Jones and Pawlak.
Pawlak almost made a critical error there towards the end, but he fixed it and made it look
right
clean.
For Pawlak. And there you go. Chris Ewell says JTP. Ryan Lantagne does as well. And there you go. Jake start no cones hit. Going in that first outside zone. Looks like we're a little hesitant there on initiation in the chase. Now into the third outside zone through that sweeper. Jeff Jones pulling away from Farouk. Oh, and Farouk looks like he corrects. He springs out mid of that. Actually advance on. Jeff Jones going to apply the pressure. Good transition into that first front flip. Now coming into outside zone 3. You can see Jeff Jones, he lunges forward. Then Farouk pulls away. Middle line now working to the outside zone 4. Jeff Jones leads, initiates in that first outside zone. Jeff Jones past that front flip, and there's Odie Boxy. Look at Jeff Jones, he is doing exactly as he said. He is, whoa, we got contact from Odie in that chase position. Remember, there is that decel zone, so a lot of these drivers having some difficulty there. Same spot we saw Denofa and Odie Boxy absolutely loud and proud past that first front flip. Odie knows he needs to throw down, and Jeff Jones knew he had a rocket ship, but right now, look at that. Odie turns it back on. Little decel action, then throws some more angle at it. Look at Jeff winding it up. See, bring it all the way across.
I think what we
underneath is Edelbrock, Doc, 370Z. Woo! Initiating Jeff Jones, massive angle there, past that first front flip. Massive separation here, Jeff Jones and Osmo now gets to the side of Jones. Osmo goes off. Jeff Jones continues on the course, and Jeff Jones, Rockstar Energy, Toyota Racing, Toyota Supra, around that first front flip. Now coming to the second outside zone. Let's see how they handle this. Coming into the third outside zone. Massive mistake by Frederick Osmo. Jeff Jones needs to just chill a little bit, and he might get this victory, Ryan. Remember, I think that is the making into that first outside zone. Past that front flip, into the second outside zone. Jeff Jones taking a little bit of angle at it. Compromising, taking angle out to get that vehicle close in proximity. You can see the departure here of horsepower and the angle there from Jeff Jones going off course as he crosses the finish. Jeff Jones out front. Oh, wow, look at Ryan Tuerck jumping right to the side of him. Jeff Jones in that second outside zone. Look at Ryan Tuerck. He's not giving him an inch at all. Gets up to the side of 370Z, lunging forward. Jeff Jones, great angle, but cannot shake Ryan Tuerck. Live free or die, New Hampshire's own.
Well, Ryan Tuerck has found a way to win.
Chris Ewell says Ryan Tuerck, as does Ryan Lontaine, and finally Brian Egger. Ryan Tuerck gets the win. He's going to go either against Kazuya Taguchi or Denofa in the top 16 because he has a 5 run right now. Whoa, whoa. Okay, well,
let's not make that a theme to come.
Yeah, that was very interesting. What is going on with Jones initiates? Both of them supercharged V8s. Nice job by Jones. Litteral about midline there on the big bank. Maybe gonna save some for the proximity. Oh, an early transition, that power stop breaks. Nissan 350Z of Ryan Litteral. Jeff Jones continues on with that Doc 370Z. Oh, and Litteral spins out, unfortunately. If Jeff Jones keeps it going, and he does, that will be a major advantage for Mr. Jones.
Yeah, and that was actually the second large mistake.
Leaves the line. Jeff Jones chasing him down. Looks like we got a clean start point or no return. Litteral initiates. Look at, there's Jeff Jones. He's falling back quite a bit. Now Litteral keeps it high. Let's see. Remember, Ryan, you said there was that major correction there. I think the smoke really messed up Litteral. Coming to that second outside zone. Litteral quite a bit deeper. Oh! Almost contact, but Litteral saves it. And it looks like that's going to be all she wrote. And in this instance, Ryan, Jeff Jones does not need to complete the rest of the course, only for just extinguishes Kazuya Taguchi. Clean start, no cones hit. How's Taguchi going to handle this bank? Initiates really high. Great angle for Taguchi. You see some little corrections there. Jeff Jones massages it up. He started low, but then worked his way up. And there goes Taguchi in that second outside zone. Jeff Jones needs to gain some proximity here. Kazuya's putting his car in all the right places. You saw a little hesitation there on that transition from that front clip into that final outside zone by Taguchi. But let's take a look at it again, because Jones, right from jump, was just definitely offline. And all right, there goes Jeff Jones on the start. Kazuya Taguchi in the chase, the second half of this battle. Sopa on the Ropa on the start lineup, ready to send him here. Jeff Jones out front, Doc Edelbrock GT Radial 370Z. Jeff looking stronger out front, then in the chase position, mid-bank, allowing Kazuya Taguchi to gain that proximity, mimicking the angle. There we go, past that front clip. Let's see how they handle the inner bank, coming in hot. Jeff Jones, a lot of confidence there. You can see, whoa, oh, we got contact. That does not sound good. Let's see where the contact was made.
Readings from all of the drivers. Let's bring in Ryan Lantain. It looks like you guys are going in the favor of Kazuya Taguchi.
Taguchi gets the win.
Like FD-esque, like Ogayama.
Yeah. Ogayama. Yep.
Is a little bit more FD style, longer, faster, but
the US, yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
Thank you. Sorry. Here we go. Jeff Jones will be leading Masuyama in that chase position. Whoa! Look at that. Nice job by Jones, and Masuyama, you saw him try to surge, throw it to the side, but has to back off. So that could end up hurting him if he doesn't put it together here on the second half of this run, but Jones consistent. Look at that, into that last outside zone. And this is what we've been talking about. Jeff Jones just stepping up as just a really dynamic, consistent driver. Consistency is key. Again, we talked about, all right. Here we go, Masuyama ready to leave the line. Jeff Jones gonna be nipping at his heels. Clean start, nobody hit a cone. And Masuyama initiates, so almost a role reversal here. Masuyama higher on the bank, Jeff Jones wavering, but does work his way higher. Now let's see how they handle that inside clip number one at the traditional start go. No problem for Masuyama. Jeff Jones, again, this is almost a role reversal, Ryan, here, as Masuyama comes off of that outside zone a little early, hanging it out quite long there into that decel zone, and now into that last outside zone. Masuyama taking some angle out of it. That was a solid battle here.
He was not able to make those repairs and get it out in a competitive condition to do battle against a fellow competitor. So we're seeing Jeff Jones get a bye here. We will go back and revisit the second half of Dylan Hughes versus Taylor Hull. Dylan Hughes right now charged with fault on the collision. I know that some of the judges had some reservations about giving the call in that direction, but needing to be consistent with the rules that they said. That was a momentum zone area where the collision happened. So it will put Dylan Hughes at a big deficit, and we will start plugging in a few of these holes.
All right, vibes are right now pointed at Taylor Hull and Jeff Jones, two very electric competitors, and as you say, entertaining, you know, in just different ways, but definitely two talented drivers. Look at Taylor Hull in that comp cams, Cadillac way high. Jeff Jones says, oh, you're up there? Me too, here we go. So Taylor Hull wraps it around that front clip. See what you got. The Intimidator comes in hot. See if he can live up to his name. Full pull. Jeff Jones shallow. All right, now around that second inside clip. Oh, nice transition there from Jeff Jones. Tit for tat. Now into that outside zone and crossing the finish line. Edelbrock at GT Radial, Nissan 370Z, Taylor Hull comp cams. Liqui Achilles Radial, Cadillac ATS-V. Let's see what we got here in this Grade 8 battle. Who's going against Chelsea Denofa in the Grade 8? Make sure the track is clear, no debris. Just shed some light on it. Hashtag FDIRW. Let everybody know you're watching. Again, that chase car can leave the line before the lead car to pace themselves. Making sure they're door to door. Jeff Jones initiates. Oh, and Taylor Hull falls out of drift. You saw he initiated and he fell straight right after he initiated. Jeff Jones continues on through the course, Ryan. And Jeff gets out to that second outside zone. Kind of alternating positions with Taylor Hull taking that shallow line. Now see how they handle this last outside Jones, I guess you could say. Jones in for Taylor Hull. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, the first thing you hear from one of our judges is
Chelsea Denofa will lead. Jeff Jones giving chase. Our first battle of the Type S Final Four. The purple lights are on. Denofa initiates, pulling away from Jones, not part of the equation. Denofa dragging bumper up on the big bank. Denofa turning it to 11. We saw him in third place on Friday night. And you know what? Just the way Denofa is driving, all I can say is the way he's going to lose this is taking himself out and making a mistake.
Well, as you said, turning it up to 11. That
Jeff Jones on the start line, clearing up the track right now. Our race officials. Jones and Denofa. Who's going to the finals? Our Type S finals. And it's been one heck of a weekend. Kick things off on Thursday with practice. Friday, round 7 of the Pro Championship. Last night, Pro 2, Dmitry Brutsky comes out on top collectively of the 4 rounds. Mike Power from the East Coast grabs his first ever podium, and it was the win here in Irwindale. Let's send him on the second run of this battle, our first battle of the Type S Final Four. Jones, Denofa. I have a feeling Denofa's going to kick back a little bit, and then he's going to strike past that first front clip. So watch this. He's going to gain ground on him, Jeff. Lower on the bank. But that's good. It's okay. But watch Denofa coming into the second inner bank. I think he's going to try to stick it to the door of Jones just to not leave it in the judge's hands. And there he goes, moving on in. The gold nose getting to the side of that Doc Edelbrock GT Radial 370Z. But the Ford Mustang of Chelsea Denofa, too much to handle. Ryan, a great run. The finals. Jeff should be so proud of this season, man. Yep. I am so proud of him.
100%.
So regardless, you know, great effort this whole season.